tea leaves of NFL contracts, I don't think there's anyone better on television.
You have got
it's not even about who deserves it, who doesn't. It's just understanding where it's going. When I said, you guys can say it's going to be a bad deal, but Trevor's going to get $55 million a year is exactly what happened. I called those things because
said Lamar was out of Baltimore forever.
I thought when Lamar demanded a trade, he was going to hold to that. But that's different than talking about how much money guys will get. And so I want to paint the picture for where Dak is at, because I think Brew made a very important point that I disagree with, but I think most people agree with Brew on, which is, well, if the Cowboys are offering you a real contract, it means they want you. Not if they're offering you a contract that they know you won't accept, which is what I think they're doing. So some context here. How did Kirk Cousins do? He's the only player in the modern era at this position around Dak's age to hit free agency the way Dak is going to. That was even close to franchise quarterback. If we can quickly show you who Kirk was when he left Washington. Whatever you think he is now, Dak is a better player than leaving Washington Kirk Cousins, okay? Kirk, when he left Washington, got a 3-year, $84 million deal fully guaranteed. 2 years later, he then got a 2-year, $66 million deal fully guaranteed. 1 year later, he got a 1-year, $35 million extension fully guaranteed. And he just signed a 4-year, $180 million deal with $100 million guaranteed. Why does that matter? From 2018, the day he signed it, until right now, no player has made more money than Kirk Cousins. From 2018 through the next 2 years, Kirk Cousins will have cleared $285 million. No other players made $250. He is set, because he played the franchise tag game like Dak did, he immediately got paid like Aaron Rodgers, despite that being the resume, and since then has made more money, cash in hand, than any other player in football. So what I am telling you is this: Dak Prescott's next deal is going to be for around $65 million a year, and the first 3 years of it will be 100% guaranteed. So unless the Cowboys are offering Dak a 3-year, $200 million contract, that he's not signing today.
Burrow's who's at number 1 right now?
55. Burrow's at 55.
So we're at, I'm going to do the math here.
Yeah.
17, 18% more than the top guy?
What I am telling you is it resets the market instantly, because Burrow signed his deal with 2 years left. Trevor Lawrence signed his deal with 2 years left. Jordan Love signed his deal with 1 year left. Dak is going to have the entire world bidding for him, which is why if the Cowboys want...
Can I ask you?
Sure.
The entire world is, we're going to do it later in the show, a handful of teams.
Okay, but
I mean, I guess you only need 2 for, to have a...
Kirk had 2 teams. He had the Jets and the Vikings. That was it. And he all of a sudden went from that level of player to only Aaron Rodgers and Matt Ryan at the time were making more money per year. Matt Ryan coming off a league MVP and a Super Bowl appearance, Aaron Rodgers being Aaron Rodgers. So if the Cowboys think $55 million a year, Dak's not signing that. And so I don't think they are going to pay him $65 million a year.
Seems like a huge leap.
And because of that, he's going to hit free agency. So I have not moved on this at all, ever. I do believe this will be Dak's last year in Dallas, because he is this close to a contract that people can't fathom what it's going to be. That's where I stand on this.
I don't see him getting $65 million. I see him getting, the reports are that he wanted 60. I see him getting 60. I think, like I said, Jerry will buckle, just like he was trying to play hardball, and it appeared he was playing hardball with Ezekiel Elliott a few years ago, who obviously is a running back. I think come training camp, he's going to go to Dak. They're going to give him $60 million. I think that's what Dak is asking for. And I think they're going to give it to him, and I think he's going to sign it.
There's part of me, and I know you talked about, the winning in Dallas hasn't been there, and we argued how much of that is Dak's responsibility, how much of it is team infrastructure. how much of it is bad luck. You don't think that, or you don't subscribe to the theory that there's going to be some sort of Dallas Cowboys discount because you are the face of the number one team in the number one sport in the number one country. Let's go. You're the face of the Dallas Cowboys. You're like, no, you know what? For this extra.
He didn't before. In the last 4 years in the NFL, this year included, who do you think has made the most cash in their hand? Dak Prescott. $160 million.
Well, it's a nice combo if you can get them both.
Second is Mahomes at 157. So the idea that Dak has always played contract hardball.
I guess so.
Every time. And the Cowboys have always tried to get in cheap, and he's been like, nope, I'll bet on myself, franchise tag me. Broke my leg. Don't care. I will still play hardball with it. And he's 30 years old, coming off the best regular season of his career, as healthy as can be, in a barren quarterback marketplace where this never happens. So I don't think that, and the Cowboys, if they were going to offer him 60, Brew, it feels like that would have already happened.
Yeah, it means that means the offers have to be around 58. If you think you're going to end at 60, what are they offering?
No, I think they feel like they still got time, which they do before the season. I mean, we've seen this before with them.
Okay.
I just don't think they negotiate.
So you still think it happens before the season? Or
I do.
Okay.
By the way, the most important moment of this segment was you correctly getting 65 to 55 being an 18%
Was it
increase.
18? I said 17.
You said 17 or 18?
That was
That's a
impressive.
great job, Wyatt.
The most important part of the segment was when I said America was the number one.
Okay, sorry.
It is Olympic season.
Bills tackle Dion Dawkins pulled a page from Chris Broussard's playbook.
Really?
By being the first to call a quarterback Jordan-esque. Take a listen.
There ain't no beef with the Jets. It's just some of the players that say things that they shouldn't be saying. Like, I don't think that, like, for example, right, if Michael Jordan is on the court and there is a player that has no name, nobody knows who he is. He should not be walking on the field and talking to Michael Jordan like Michael Jordan ain't who Michael Jordan is. Josh Allen is Michael Jordan. So you want to talk to MJ in front of me and I'm his personal protector? Oh, yeah, I'm the first one to throw hands.
Okay. Brew, your reaction. That's a little deceptive how Hub sold us this one.
First of all, I love Dion Dawkins. Not only is he a great player, I think he's got a big-time future in broadcasting if he wants it when he's done. Like, he's the charisma, the energy.
Yeah, the Michael Jordan's the GOAT
statements.
stuff. He's already got it.
I like him. But like you said, in this, when you look at the context of it, I actually have no problem with what he said. He's saying, I am to Josh Allen what Charles Oakley was to Michael Jordan early in his career. Now, of course, Josh Allen is not Michael Jordan. The problem for Josh Allen, he's playing against Michael Jordan. Patrick Mahomes. I mean, that's his issue.
I once heard someone call him Jordan.
Jordan-esque. Yeah. Yours truly.
Oh, that was you.
Now, here's a better NBA comp. Because he's going up against Jordan and he can't get a ring because of it. Patrick Ewing. That's who Josh Allen is. And I'm not saying he'll never get a ring, but that's right now more appropriate.
Is Dion Dawkins still Charles Oakley?
In that case, yeah, I guess he could. Yes, yeah. Now, the Patrick Ewing doesn't roll off, he's my Patrick Ewing. It doesn't have the oomph that Jordan does. And again, big-time broadcasting
chops. But hold on, the reason he said Michael Jordan is because, and this is why.
Because he thinks Jordan's just pretty good and a future Hall of Famer?
No, because he thinks because he's talking about Josh Allen like he's the best. Which is why all the crocodile tears from Bills fans and from Brandon Beane always ring hollow to me. This guy is even on this show, when Brew loves this comp. He's Brett Favre. Without all the stuff that made him Brett Favre. Right. Brett Favre,
he'll get
through
his
6 years starting, had 2 Super Bowl appearances, 1 ring, and 3 league MVPs. So when you say he's Brett Favre without the Super Bowls and MVPs, but that was kind of a very...
He'll get that, though.
Brett,
not 3, but he'll get some.
Brett Favre without Super Bowls and MVPs is Jeff George. The Super Bowls and MVPs is kind of what you need.
Not in that era.
And so, Jeff George kind of was in that era. But regardless, it is... there is always this, and with a player, a teammate of his, I think it's fine, but I think it infects the media, the broadcasts, the commentary, the NFL MVP voting, so much of it, just a rush to treat this player as if he has accomplished the things that we think one day he will. And if we were to take this comp at face value, Dusty put it together, the Jordan versus Josh through 6 years as a starter.
That's not what he said.
What do you mean?
I mean,
You knew he was going to get this.
No, but this is what it is. Look, this is a testament to Jordan. And look at the league awards category. Wildsey is a Rookie of the Year and MVP and a
Stop with
disputed
that.
defensive. What do you mean?
Disputed?
Not disputed.
It's not disputed at
Not
all.
disputed.
I mean,
Tom
I'm
Haberstroh
disputing
has
it.
done more
So,
damage
I'm just telling you
to
what
Michael
it is.
Jordan's legacy.
Now, if you want to
One
actually
article.
include Jordan and Josh Allen and actual GOATs, we can do that as well. And you'll see two of them, kind of outstrip the field through 6 years as starters anyway. Mahomes running away with it.
Mahomes,
But
yeah.
yeah, I mean, LeBron too through 6 years, it's fine. But regardless, these are the terms under which Josh Allen has always been discussed. And you always make fun of me and you get mad because I bring up Collinsworth in the first game of the season a couple years ago when he was like in HF interceptions. Like, we try to create new statistical categories. We try to do things that we don't do for any other player. And that's my only critique. I think he's a great player.
He is great. He is a future Hall of Famer.
So again,
He really is. I'm not saying if he retired today. He's one of the best 3-4 quarterbacks throughout. I think he will be throughout his prime.
Okay, but so that's where I push back. Right now, there is the only player that's in their prime. Take Rodgers, out. Russell Wilson's a tough one. Take the older guys out. The only ones who are on a Hall of Fame trajectory are Mahomes and Lamar.
Correct.
They're the only
not
ones.
on a Hall of Fame
No,
trajectory?
not yet.
What are you going to get up in speech? He is one. Nothing.
I mean,
pretty awesome.
I do think he'll win. So
Well, he's gotta win
I agree.
something.
right, but that's why I said his
Win an
projection.
award.
He's got to win something.
Some people think Phillip Rivers will be in there.
He's not going to be.
I
Tom Brady kept him
disagree
out.
with you, and I don't think he will be. But I just think that's kind of my point, Brew. I think everyone, I shouldn't say everyone, I think most people watching agree with you. He's a Hall of Fame player. And that's my frustration. It's like we think he should be.
No,
but up
we're
to this
watching him. I get it. He hasn't won a Super Bowl yet. You know how many young players quarterbacks have won Super Bowls?
No. It's not. Hold on.
Patrick Mahomes.
Brew,
That's it.
Has he been to a Super Bowl? Has he won a Super Bowl? No. Has he been to a Super Bowl? No. Has he been to multiple conference championship games? No. Has he won an MVP?
What year's
No.
he in?
Well, I don't know.
6?
He's been in.
He's not Patrick. That's his problem. He's not Patrick Mahomes.
Right, but no, it's not.
Okay, so
just
Joe Burrow's been to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That's worth a tad bit more.
Joe Burrow's been.
But he
to,
hasn't had the regular season career that Josh Allen has
Joe
had.
Burrow, in a shorter career, has been to twice as many conference championship games, infinitely as many Super Bowls.
But he hasn't won.
Has beaten Patrick Mahomes in a big spot.
But he hasn't won the only one we really care about, which is the Super Bowl.
No,
and he hasn't had the regular season career of Josh.
I understand that Burrow has not won the Super Bowl, and my argument about Josh is not purely he hasn't won the Super Bowl. What I am saying is, right now, amongst his era of quarterbacks, he is the fourth most accomplished. And typically, an era is not going to get four guys of the exact same, couple-year draft class into the Hall. If you could, but he needs to do more. He needs to do more to be a Hall of Famer, let alone to be anybody's Michael Jordan. He's not going to end up the third greatest player ever. Give me a break.
Okay, all right. Josh Allen ran for 15 touchdowns last year, 525 yards. But he sat down with Kay Adams and hinted at changing his playing style. Take a listen.
I don't like running. I don't like running in the off season. I don't like running sprints. I don't like any of that stuff. The only time I like running is when there's guys chasing me. So trying to get out of that and let these other faster guys and quicker guys and guys that can take some more hits. I mean, I can take a hit or two, but don't want to be in the business of that.
Okay. Does Josh need to change his style of play?
All right, we're playing a little fast and loose with these quotes. All right, he's not saying I don't like running. He's saying I don't literally like running, jogging 5 miles a day.
No, but he also
said I like running Only time I like running is when somebody's chasing me. So that's on the football field. All right. So to answer, I just don't think he's saying, I hate to run. I don't care whether he hates to run or not. I don't think he does. He's got to run. So he does need to change his style in that he needs to be less reckless. That's when he's running. Of course, he needs to learn how to slide more. He needs to run out of bounds more and all of that. All right. And stop running guys over because Cam Newton.
What about hurdling?
Be less reckless. Yeah. Even when he's throwing the football, be less reckless. He needs to make better decisions. There's no question about that. But he has to run. Yeah. Like, I do think he's a very good passer. Look, last 4 years, he's over 4,000 yards each year. 3 of the last 4 years, over 35 or more touchdowns. I mean, that's not anything to sneeze at. So he's a good passer. I believe he's a very good passer. But he's not a top 5 quarterback without the running.
Correct.
Without the threat of the run. And I'm not even saying that to disparage him, but that's one of his strengths.
It's the part of his game that scares me the most. In that AFC divisional round game that you guys are, still try to convince me he played great, and I think he played okay. He averaged 6 yards per run and 4.5 yards per pass. He had 2 rushing touchdowns, 1 throwing touchdown. Last year, once Joe Brady took over, we can show it to you. What Joe Brady started doing was design Josh Allen run.
Yep.
And it was effective. It is also why because without the running, if it's just the passing, and this is where I bring up, the data that folks get mad at, but from a passing efficiency standpoint, aside from year 3, he's been, an average NFL quarterback. And if we do overall, not just passer rating, if we just do overall passing numbers over the last 3 years, that's just passing. He's well below average in completion percentage, well above average in yards per game, exactly average in touchdown, interception, and passer rating. There is no universe where that quarterback is top 5. It is only because you add in what is, you could argue, the most effective running quarterback in football. Lamar is more dynamic, but Josh is, when you play the Bills in big spots, as my team has, what I am most worried about on 3rd and 8 is not he's going to, thread. I know he can thread the needle. I'm not saying that. But what I'm worried about is he's going to break contain and all of a sudden be galloping through the secondary. That is what I'm worried about.
I think the hope as a Bills fan, and even I bet everybody in that building is like, he will continue to improve as a passer. So a couple years from now, he doesn't need to run because he won't be able to run like this. So I think that's their hope, is that he keeps improving as a passer.
Is Purdy experimenting with interceptions?
Oh,
that's why.
I mean, that's one interesting way to put it.
Yeah, that's what he said.